projects fail? Yes, research identifies several reasons why projects can fail. The most common are the ambiguous or misunderstood or even the incorrect requirements due to lack of scope planning. This till date remains the number one reason why projects fail. The second one is scope creep. As the team continues to work on the product, small changes can gradually add into an extended scope, which does not follow any structured change management plan or may not even be part of the initially agreed upon scope. This then starts eating on to the timelines, onto the budgets, and may never even be part of the customer's original requirements. Non-existent, out of date, incomplete, or even poorly constructed project plans can severely impact project success. The inability to control schedules and costs, not monitoring them early enough, and the inability to take decisions to correct issues with projects can often result in problems. Some projects are plagued by frequent changes, or they may lack a structured change control system. Project human resources, whether they are internal or external, can also become major reasons for conflict, especially with unclear or unwritten responsibilities and lack of resource planning when the resources are shared. Lack of communication and stakeholder engagement also can directly lead to project failure. And similarly, lack of skills, whether it is from the technical or from project management side, can be really detrimental to projects. However, using a structured project management methodology can greatly contribute to organizational success. This can lead to projects which are completed well within the timelines, within the budgets, exactly as per the quality specifications, which of course leads to acceptance of the customer or sponsor or the end user, has minimal number of scope changes, the resources are planned and utilized optimally, and the entire project is done without disturbing the main workflow of the organization. This kind of a structure requires unique efforts and innovative thinking along with advanced planning. No matter what industry a project belongs to or what kind of deliverables it produces, it could be products or maybe from a service sector. It could be a short duration project or a long one. All projects have a very similar life cycle. And at each stage of the life cycle, it becomes critical to apply the right project management processes to ensure project success. So now, let us take a quick look at what the project life cycle is. All projects start with an initiation phase. This is the stage when the feasibility of the project is checked, you meet the initial stakeholders, and a clarity is brought about onto what the project would be delivering. After this, all projects move to the planning stage, which could involve the designing of the service or the product, the documentation part, the approvals, estimations, budgeting, scheduling, risk planning, all of them come during the planning stage. The execution stage involves the actual implementation of the project as per the previous plan. Monitoring and control involves checking whether the execution is as per the original plan and if any changes are needed. And finally comes the closing stage, where the deliverables are handed over. Any post-operational handoffs would be delivered, and other closing related activities are done. Now, the life cycle of a project doesn't usually look very linear. In reality, once the project starts, the initiation related processes begin. Planning and execution processes may sometimes be happening parallelly, which means phase 1 could be under execution while phase 2 could still be under planning. Monitoring and control is not just for the execution. We need to monitor and control everything, beginning from how we initiate the project to how we plan the project, how we execute the project, and finally ensure that the project is closed in the right fashion. And finally comes the exit phase of the project. What would be the most important skills to be an effective and successful project manager? Pause the video and take a minute to list down the top skills you feel are most essential. Research shows that the number one skill needed is project management knowledge. A clear understanding of the skills, tools and techniques and the processes required at the various stages of initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing the project are extremely critical. Project management knowledge alone does not ensure effective results. These have to be backed by very strong interpersonal and communication skills. These could include conflict resolution, the ability to negotiate for the best interests of the project, being able to influence people for positive outcomes for the project, motivating the team, creating a positive work environment which enables better performance by the team, and so on. Also essential is a clear understanding of the project environment. As we know, every project is unique and comes with its own client requirements, regulatory requirements, the current market conditions, the vision or the strategy because of which the project was initiated, who the critical stakeholders are, all become very essential. Then, of course, a project manager needs planning as well as organization skills in terms of timelines as well as resources. An important point to notice here is technical knowledge is essential. However, it is not necessary that the project manager has to be a technical expert. That is where you have the technical team. However, management skills are extremely critical for a successful project manager. So, what is the role of a project manager? Firstly, he takes full responsibility and accountability for the project. He strives to adopt the best project management practices. Also, rather than doing project after project in the same manner, it is expected that he will use the lessons learned from his past projects along with other projects which are done in the organization to continually strive to improve the current project. He would also lead the project planning activities along with his team, perform risk and issue management, ensure that whenever changes happen to the project, there is a well-defined change control. He tracks the project progress and communicates the status, encourages and supports any kind of escalation, and is primarily the driver towards effective decision making backed by data. He also clearly defines the roles and responsibilities of the different members on the project team. This ensures that there is clarity behind each person's responsibility and accountability towards the project. He tries to promote as much as possible client or sponsor engagement to ensure that the project stays aligned to the goals required at the end. He mentors the project team members and can also very successfully manage the various conflicting project priorities. So, as we see overall, an effective project manager of today leads the project and is a team player rather than someone who simply directs and plans the work.